Good idea as well. I've sold this freezer virtually. The customer was happy with it except for the noise. This Embraco compressor is making so much of a noise, it rattled its terminal cover off. So this thing pulls about 2.3 amps. There's something wrong with the motor in there. It shouldn't pull that much current running. It's something like a slip or something in the rotor in this thing. I don't know what, but there's just something weird with the motor in that. It just shakes like this when it's running. Excessive vibrations. It has like a resonance that goes sort of a resonance to it. So strange. So yeah, the customer really liked this, or the buyer really liked this freezer. So I said, well, I'll put a new compressor in it. Compressor that came out of that bar fridge. Put that in it. Because it doesn't have any sub-cooling, I just bypassed it. I didn't have any good spare compressors with a sub-cooling coil on the bottom of it. So I just bypassed it. Sometimes it can do that, just means it won't cool as efficiently, but it will still work. It's a bit small a bit. It'll use less energy anyway, let's put it that way. The freezers you buy on the market that size now have compressors that small on them. You won't get a compressor this big anymore on domestic freezers and fridges anymore. They're virtually given towards the size of this, which I don't know why I just go to DC compressors. Instead of having three-phase circuit boards, I run a three-phase compressor. There's bullshit, overcomplicated electronics to go wrong. They have something like this, put a DC compressor in these new fridges. The less the fridge buggers up, the compressor's more handy as a DC compressor. It'll have more usability. So that's my opinion anyway. That vacuumed the light out, so it's all pulled vacuum. We'll shut that off. Well, I'm vacuumed up. Sometimes I've observed, I didn't pick it up in the last video I did, particularly with this angle, when you vacuum down a system, you want to make sure you want to have it running for a while. Because as I observed with this one, I was losing vacuum. That's because the oil was fizzing up and the gas was coming out of the oil. So you're going to have to, when you do things like this, you let the vacuum pop on for quite a while to fizz out all of the gases out of the oil. I ran this compressor too. It helps get everything else. If I turn it on, it's running. Yeah, needle's not moving, see? Yeah, it's just completely out of gas, out of the oil completely. Let's get some refrigerant and start charging it. And then with that fixed, and I've got to work out other problems, I've got to iron out all the other faults. I think the thermostat's a bit sticky in this thing. I've had the fan running 24/7, but I think I might have to rewire it because this only runs when the compressor runs. When the compressor's off, this turns off. Got the wrong circuit because that should be running all the time. It's not going to be very practical if it runs only when the compressor's running. So I'll probably have to fix that, but it's worked out quite well. Okay, a little bit more, bit of vacuum still. If I can start, here we go, boiling off. My valve stuck. Got a lot of check gauges. I'll change that now. R150 to A. I need to recover this too, just for the hell of it. You know it's only hydrocarbon, but there's a tiny riff in the system of the oil with the oil compressor, so I took the bullet piercing valve off and just flared it off and burnt it. It's only butane, propane. Yeah, we're getting cold back. Let that go for a bit. As I said, I have seen freezers where this isn't always used. The idea of having a condenser split in half, this top half is separate from this half, and it goes through the bottom here, which is a cooling, sub-cooling loop. That just boosts the cooling efficiency of the freezer a little bit. That's all that does. As I said, it's ideal, but it won't hurt to not have it on this one. Because I have seen the odd freezer where it doesn't have this sub-cooling coil. Oh yes. Fisher and Paykel. So there's not a Fisher and Paykel anymore. I just moved the feet and they went straight in. In there it's pretty straightforward. It tells you what T, what's for thermostat, which is a white wire, neutral for your this cord and this cord, and it's got live for this cord and this cord labelled. It's good when they label it. This is not a capacitor start compressor either, so one thing I like about the old-fashioned 240 volt compressors. Simple. Only a couple of wires and she'll run. But there's newer features. Need a bloody inverter board which links to the compressor, which is tied to the thermostat and the display panel. It's too much crap to go wrong. You can't really, you got to match everything in the place compressor, but you got to put everything else on the new feature as well. This isn't accurate, so it should be around 5 psi. If I tap it, it's 0. And a lot of gauges aren't very accurate for things like that. If I had an expensive digital manifold, it'd be different, but I'll just go by feel. It's cool. I might have to put a little bit more. Sniff it in bit by bit by bit. Now there's no overflow on this one. There's a little drain here for the defrost. I'll have to put something on there for a drain when it defrosts, because it's going to be in someone's kitchen and this thing's just going to get wet and make a mess. So I'm going to have to put something here on the compressor to catch defrost. Another thing I'm trying to find out, I don't know if this timer works either. It doesn't make a noise. I've got a new timer, but it's slightly different. This little handle won't fit on it. This is important. There's a micro switch there. So, yeah, I might have to replace that timer. I know I need a new thermostat because it's sticky. You have to kick it and it'll respond. It'll just keep going and going and going. I'll kick the thermostat, then it turns off, cycles off. So, get cool. Still warm. See, I feel this as it gets more and more cool. Give it another 10-15 minutes or so. Good heat protection. I don't even know these things on them now. Man, that other compressor was loud. Yeah, this has got all the shrouds and things in the road. I want to see the frost line, but I can't. I've got to take all this out to see it. Slightly cooling. Get in there. So this sort of system takes longer to charge. Like this, with these old fridges, you can physically look and you can see the frost quick and easy. But this you're going to take your time. As I said, it's not going to add a little bit extra. It really won't hurt. If I get a bit of cold back to the compressor, a little bit's not going to hurt, because that'll help cool the compressor anyway, since there's no sub-cooling here. Looking good. I'll give it a couple of minutes. Let it settle in. That's better. Get in there, starting to cool. Starting to get cold. See how it goes when I come home later on in the afternoon. See if it starts to get sweaty. Good heat rejection. Working quite well. Ear to it. See the camera, look, the camera picks it up. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's microphone just picked it up, but I can hear the boiling going on. Yeah. Can't have to take my word for it, the camera won't pick it up. I'm not yet sweating yet, but I might have to top it up to tweak it, but we'll see how it goes. So if I do put too much, a little bit extra, to cool the compressor down, I'm going to have to deal with cold sweat. And bear in mind, it's going to be in the customers, the person that's going to buy this, it's going to be in their kitchen. And the last thing they want is water running everywhere, so I've got to keep that in mind too. I've got a drip tray for this thing, but that's for the bigger Panasonic compressor. This Panasonic compressor's small, but that drip tray won't fit in there. There's too much stuff in the road, it won't fit, so I'm screwed for drip trays at the moment. Oh yeah, good heat rejection. Whew, yeah, really good heat rejection. I've had to, as I said, I've tweak it a little bit by bit to get it right. And we're getting in there. Evenly heat distribution on the condenser, which is good. Anyway, thanks for watching.